Hi, welcome. It's Jackie from Cambridge Safety. Welcome to one of our Take 5 minutes for health and safety videos where we just look at some health and safety topics in 5 or so minutes to give you a reminder. So in this Take 5 video, we're just going to have a quick look at the paperwork required to comply with the construction, design and management regulations which are in the UK and govern a majority of our construction work. So CDM 2015 came in as a third version of CDM, and the legislation really looks at when we're just thinking about construction work, when we're then doing the detailed design, then we're actually on site constructing, but it also looks ahead, okay, in 20 years' time, 50 years' time, 100 years' time, if we need to demolish or alter this structure, what do we need to take into account? So paperwork-wise, we're going to look at 4 records. Let's have just a quick look. So we have the F10. So the F10 is a notification that the client has to make to the health and safety executive. They have to do this online, but you only have to do that if your project meets one of 2 criteria. Is your project going to last more than 30 days, but with 20 or more people working on each of those days? Or is your project going to last 500 person days? So if it's going to meet either of those criteria, then the client has a legal obligation to ensure that the F10 is completed and that is notified to the health and safety executive prior to work commencing. In real life, your principal contractor or designer may do it for you, but the legal duty is with the client, the company who wants the work to be done. Okay, we've notified. Then we've got the pre-construction information. So I'm a client, I want a building to be built or demolished or to be altered in some way. It's my responsibility to gather the pre-construction information. If your company is going to tender to do the construction work for me, what do you need to know to be able to pull together a decent tender, not just from a financial perspective, but from a health and safety perspective? What hazards and risks are you going to need to put into your plan? So this is gathered by the client, and if they've got their principal designer appointed, then they will normally help them do this. So if you've got a rural site, if you've got overhead electric cables, if you've got near neighbours, these practical things that you need to put in your pre-construction information package, which you then provide to the companies who are tendering to complete the project for you. And it should contain all relevant information that is reasonable for the client to have access to. Our next bit of paper, the construction phase plan. So now you've appointed a principal contractor. You've appointed a principal contractor who's actually going to manage and complete the project for you. It's their job to develop the information provided in the pre-construction information package into the construction phase plan. How are they going to build or carry out this construction project safely? So within the plan, this is a live document, but it will normally include health and safety management issues, risk assessment, training, consultation, engagement, site induction, that type of thing. But it also needs to make sure it covers how are they going to manage all the key health and safety hazards and risks that are relevant to this construction project. So is there going to be noise or dust? Are they going to be doing demolition? So they're going to need to remove lots of waste. Do we need to have a traffic management plan? What about the personal protective equipment on site? What about worker height? These are the things that are going to go into the construction phase plan. It's developed by the principal contractor and must be in place before the client allows work to start on site. And depending on the complexity of the project, obviously some construction phase plans are going to be longer than others, but equally as the project progresses, the plan needs to be kept up to date. It's not just something to sit in a folder and then only get out when the health and safety executive inspector comes on site. Our final bit of paper that we'll have a very quick look at is called the health and safety file. This is the document that gets prepared at the end of the project and then gets passed to the client. So every project which involves more than one contractor working on the project must have a health and safety file. So the sorts of things that will be in there is the things that the client might need to use and refer to in future to enable them to maintain, repair, and even alter that structure in future. So as-built drawings, details of particular materials that have been used, structural loadings, details of any plant that's actually been installed, so ventilation systems, lifts, escalators, fire alarms, those types of things. So this is our structure for CDM. We've got the F10, which starts the ball rolling for notifiable projects, then the pre-construction information provided by the client. What does the contractor potentially need to know to be able to then put in a decent tender, not just financially, but for health and safety? Then the principal contractor who has been appointed to complete the project, they develop that information into their construction phase plan. And then once it's all done and all finished, various pieces of information chipped in by all of the different people that have been involved in the project are put together in the health and safety file, and that is then provided to the client at the end of the project. And if the client sells their interest in the building, they are legally bound to pass on that health and safety file to the next owner or purchaser. So this has been Jackie Cambridge, a very brief potted tour on the various documentation that is required as part of the Construction Design and Management Regs 2015. Thanks for watching.